Well, as I said, fall is approaching, a few weeks away, a couple weeks away, around September 20th. We turn into fall, and we have Chef Aaron Anderson here of Harlows Fine Cuisine. And appropriately enough, you'll be putting on an autumn menu pretty soon. Well, you guys are known for being very seasonal, and you brought along some seasonal produce for us to look at. I love fall food. I think because as the colder weather comes in, you have permission to eat a little bit more. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it
those
gets a little bit
wonderful
richer
soups.
as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Right.
great. So nice to have you on
Right.
today.
Thank you. It's good
Yeah.
to be back.
So the fall menu, is it you're working on it right now, or is it in effect?
We're working on it right now. Spent
Okay.
some time yesterday putting together some ideas and first conceptualizing, then actualizing. So
Yeah.
probably about 2 weeks, and we'll be fully into our fall menu.
All right.
But I did bring a few things with me. I just wanted to discuss. One, first off, this is what's called a Tuscan melon, very similar to like a cantaloupe. Melons right now are at the peak of their sweetness. So sugar contents are at the highest right now, and this would be the week to get them. They're not going to get any better for the season. So just wanted to mention that. I thought that would be something to pass along.
This is a great time to get these melons. And
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to. If you're in the store, it's not like I'm trying to promote this brand, but this one here, Dulcinea, is known for just. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. They're grown in California, but they're known this, and they do other melons as well. They're just known for great products.
Absolutely. So we're kind of in like a transitional period right now where we're not fully into fall and we're kind of done with a lot of the summer things. But we're going to be going into some of your more hardier produce for the season. So I brought a few examples here. I brought a couple different kinds of gourds here, of hardy squashes. So acorn, a lot of people will be familiar with this. Real conducive to roasting and serving, just buttered and real creamy, real rich flavor to it. And this is an Asian varietal called kabocha squash. Now this one is great roasted as well, but has a very, very dry, like crumbly texture to it. So it works well for purees if it can incorporate a whole lot of moisture to it. So you can loosen it with milk or cream or stock of some sort, and it really absorbs a lot of that and takes on the flavor.
Yeah.
So I like that for any kind of purees or soups are even great with that.
Okay. Are you going to be doing some soups like that?
Absolutely. I think what we're probably going to be doing is going to be a roasted corn veloute of some sort or something like that. But we'll probably get into using some squash in a few different applications in the menu.
Yeah, that's what I love using squash for.
Absolutely.
And of course, the wonderful, as we get into it, the fruit this time of the year.
Right. Stone fruit's just about out, so all of your peaches and those types of things are going to be done. You can still find them at the markets, but they're on their way out. So we're moving into, everyone knows fall's apples. Traditional time for that. Everyone thinks Thanksgiving and baked apple pie and things like that. But the first great pulls from California, local areas are coming in right now, so that's good. Look for galas. Local galas are coming in real nice right now. Also pears.
Yeah, I love
pears.
pears.
Right. It used to be a symbol of like welcomeness to people.
Exactly.
Hang them in front on their front doors and things like that. So we have a couple examples here. We have a D'Anjou, which is like a French varietal, and then we have the Basque, which is they're both pretty hardy. They can stand up to being roasted or even grilled. So I think what we're going to do on the new menus, we'll probably use some grilled pear. They'll be going with some prosciutto. We'll replace some of the stone fruit that we were using earlier in the season. Yeah,
pears that are paired with some sort of cured meat are absolutely wonderful.
Right.
They play off each other very well. I like putting them. We do that, slice them very thin. Make sure for us the pear is crisp for this. We do like a grilled cheese with some great artisan cheeses, and we put something in there like prosciutto or bacon and all, and it's just absolutely wonderful.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to come down and give me a hand someday.
Yeah, I like pears.
But another thing that's kind of indicative of the fall weather is braised items.
Yeah.
So we're coming up with a few ideas. Thinking probably gonna do like a lamb shank or something like that braised. But you get into like the heavier, the stews, the more comfort food things for the season.
Yeah.
So I know it's been a little bit unseasonably warm,
It
so
has been.
so we've postponed getting those on for a few weeks, but it should be here soon.
But the braised items are just wonderful.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, so those are definitely things that you'll be seeing on not only our menu, but probably other local menus around town as people try and keep up with the times and the weather change. So
Yeah. Now you have something very interesting here that I'm a little familiar with because somebody gave me this a couple years ago. Not that I still have it, but I'm saying this is black garlic. It's kind of a cured garlic. And talk about that.
absolutely.
A little bit.
Well, I
kind of-
believe originally
let
the
me do
process done for that was essentially it was buried and allowed to essentially rot in a controlled situation where it's essentially ferments from the inside
Yeah.
out. It's black through and through. If I could cut it open, you'd see that it's individual cloves, just like garlic you'd buy at any store, but it's has a soft texture and it's solid black all the way through. The flavor it takes on is very umami, if you know what that
Yeah.
means. It takes on like a miso kind of soy, very complex flavors and very sweet too. The garlic flavor completely goes away.
Yeah, it does.
So I use this in a lot of seafood preparations. It's a great go-to. It complements any kind of light flavored seafood or flaky fish or anything like that. I use it pureed with some brown butter. Goes
Oh,
with
that
the
would be
sole
nice.
dish that I do. And I thought it was something interesting. Wasn't sure how much the public knew about it, and thought I'd bring it in and share it with everyone.
Yeah, it's not easy to find. I have seen it every once in a while, places like Trader Joe's or something, in a little plastic bag. And,
Sure.
But it's not easy to find. But if you do, give it a try, or better yet, go down to Harlows and have one of the dishes that the chef is using it in. Do you also find this time of the year that some of the other things that are coming in that I think are used a little bit more are the wonderful fresh, exotic, wild mushrooms and dried mushrooms and things like that?
Absolutely. We're adding some chanterelles onto our menu right now because you're right, there is time for that. Although a lot of those are cultivated indoors now, so the seasons aren't necessarily the driving force between their use in the fall. But absolutely, mushrooms, all of those rich, woodsy, earthy flavors are pretty common this time of year. So.
Yeah. Last week, a couple weeks ago, you had on the bartender there.
Right.
And we talked about whiskeys a little bit. And you talked about how you love to pair not just wine. I think most people would know that that's very common, pairing different kinds of wines with food, but how you take different kinds of spirits and pair that in beers as well with food that you use in your sauces, don't you?
Absolutely. Not only do we have a wine society, an association, a club inside of our restaurant where we do wine tasting and events like that, but we're also going to start gravitating away from the wine and doing more of a broad pairing and doing them with spirits and cocktails and beer as well. So, beer pairings are like the newest thing right now because with the effervescence of beer, it really helps cleanse your palate in between each taste that you do. So pairing goes real well with that.
It definitely does. And of course, as we get into fall, I'm sure you have more of the some of the desserts like maybe poached pears or things like that, right?
Right. And football season kicked off.
Yeah.
So we started our Monday promotions with football where we're doing a pint and a pound. So it's a 1 pound slice of deep dish pizza, which we're doing in-house.
Okay.
Going with a pint of beer.
Great.
So that went over real well last night, and I think it's a good way to help bring in, once again, bolder, heavier, slightly richer dishes to the menu and also kind of keep hip with what's going on with the
well, as I said, I
football.
like this time of the year. It's as we
Right.
get into the fall season, the cooler weather, and the heartier foods. It really
Absolutely.
is. All right, if you want to head on down to Harlows, they're down in San Juan Capistrano, and their website is harlowscuisine.com, and there's the information on the screen, 949-240-8100. And you can go on down there and try some of these menu offerings. They'll probably be on in a couple weeks, some of these new ones.
Absolutely. We'll start running these new items as specials and trying to introduce them to our clientele very soon. So look forward to trying some new things.
And I always suggest when you go to a great restaurant like that, if the opportunity arises to talk to the chef directly, sometimes you can't leave the kitchen for obvious reasons, you're too busy, do that and ask questions because a good restaurant, they're going to enjoy that conversation. If the chef hides in the kitchen, you don't want to be eating there.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. I'm readily available to everyone, so
Yeah.
stop in and say hi for sure.
All right. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Nice
All
to
right.
see you again.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment.
Harlows, farm-to-table cuisine, catering, entertainment, crafted cocktails. Harlows, where too much of a good thing can be truly wonderful.